Welcome to another review, guys. On today's episode, I am going to share my thoughts on the next Netflix film, Nyad. 64-year-old marathon swimmer Diana Nyad attempts to become the first person to ever swim from Cuba to Florida. The film was directed by Elizabeth Chai Vasarhelyi and Jimmy Chin, written by Julia Cox, and the film is based on Find a Way by Diana Nyad, the book. The key cast members in this are Annette and Jodie Foster and Rhys Ifans. All right, so going into this film, not very familiar with Diana's story. I wasn't aware of her continuous attempts at trying to swim from Cuba to Florida. I wasn't aware of her past history of being a swimmer or anything like that. But the biggest issue that I had with this film was the unlikability of Nyad herself. She was this emotionally manipulative woman to everyone around her to get what she wanted. Whether it was like fake apologies or taking advantage of Bonnie or even John, not once did she make me care about her or really this swim. I don't love some of the aspects of the film that they really try to force upon us, right? You have a woman that is trying to overcome something. We see that we have this, we all face these battles that we keep trying at and trying at and trying, where, you know, you get knocked down, you get back up and you keep trying. And this swim consumed her. And the fact that it consumed her, it caused so many different issues with the friendships that she had made along the way, relationships. And that to me is where you can make a film about an unlikable character and make it a good film. But this is an unlikable character that is so unlikable that I don't feel like I connected with the root of what they were trying to give us. There's several moments in this film, and it might not be how it was portrayed or happened in real life, but the way that it was edited, right? There's a moment where we see Diana call John and was like, hey, like, I really want to, you know, apologize to you about all the way that I treated you, you know, all these things. But in actual honesty, it was a phone call that was led to an apology where he accepts it, while followed by telling her, hey, I'm not joining you on this next leg of your attempt. And that was, again, very manipulative in the way it was shown. And then, of course, on the flip side of that, I didn't love how the film portrays this tender moment of Diana talking about being sexually assaulted. It didn't bother me, obviously, in her saying it happened, but this moving moment was this reuniting with Bonnie for the first time that she had ever seen, and it was used as a more or less guilt trip into her joining her on this next leg of trying to go from Cuba to Florida. That to me was very emotionally manipulating in a way that I didn't like. Now, for the performances, they're fine. Annette is fine as Nyad. I wouldn't even say that is a great or even a good performance. You know what I mean? I felt Jodie Foster was very solid. Rhys Ifans was the MVP of this film as John. I felt like he had more of an emotional impact on me, which obviously isn't telling since it's supposed to be about Diana to begin with. The other MVP is the directing team of Elizabeth and Jimmy. I felt like the script was overly lackluster and formulaic, but the directing inside the water was truly a spectacle to watch, because the way that it's shot, you felt like you're in the water with Nyad every time. When she took a breath, it was almost as if you were taking a breath, whether it was above or below water. You were engulfed in this ride, and it was rather powerful. That to me was very poignant in that way of really enhancing a film that really couldn't grab me emotionally, but every time we were in that water, I was invested because of how they shot that. There are several scenes that almost felt like claustrophobic to me, because it's like, you know, she's swimming and then she's kind of just sitting there and this water just consumes her face continuously over and over again. And it was just insane to watch. The message is simple: to never give up, no matter how old you are. But the problem is in delivering that message. And for that reason, Nyad fails to deliver anything other than your prototypical overstuffed biopic. For me, very middle of the road. The film is released in select theaters on October 20th, and it will drop on Netflix on November the 3rd.